Good day, folks. Today we're assembling a large square bale hay ring. The same will apply for the small square bale hay ring. You could use this video for both. So we unpackaged our feeder and we put all our parts here. You got the four corners, you got the center braces. We have all our bolts, our cable, net, and the tools we're going to be using is 1/2-inch wrenches. Preferably a ratchet wrench if you have one. Have a couple sets of vice grips because they'll help us hold things and line things up for us. And then I got a socket on an impact, 1/2-inch socket on an impact. And I also got a drill with a 5/16. You might not need it. It's just in case you need to ream out a hole or something. It makes it a little easier for assembly. Okay, so we'll start by grabbing one of our corners. And then we'll grab a panel. And we're going to start by assembling them upside down. Okay, so we're going to just fit that panel in between the corner bracket here. And then we're going to install some carriage bolts. So you're going to have two different lengths of carriage bolts. This at the bottom of this feeder here, you don't have a aluminum stiffener like you do on the top. So our bolts are going to be a little bit shorter. So we got 1-inch and 1.25-inch carriage bolts. On the bottom where there's no stiffener, you use 1-inch carriage bolts, and the heads will fit in these square holes that are punched on our aluminum brackets here. So, and wherever we put bolts and nuts on the plastic side, if the nut is touching plastic or the bolt is touching plastic, we're going to use washers. So always use a washer on the plastic side, and on the aluminum side, you don't need washers. Do the same to this corner here. Okay, now with our regular bolts, we're going to put our two vertical bolts in the side frame here. And those are just regular bolts with one washer on the plastic side. Okay, we got our two vertical bolts and we got our carriage bolts in now. So we grab another panel and we'll just work our way out this way. Doing the same thing, making sure the stiffener is at the bottom. Okay, next move now is we have these center brackets. So basically these large square feeders have two panels going down the side and one panel going across the ends. If you're just doing a small square bale feeder, you just do another corner there and another panel. It would just be 4 panels. But being that this is a large square bale feeder, there's 6 panels total, 2 on each side and then 1 on each end. We need these joiners, panel straight joiners here. But they go on the same way as the corners, just carriage bolts in the top. And then your 2 bolts down the side on each panel. So go ahead and install all those and your 2 next corners and your last end panel. We have all our bolts hand tight on the bottom. Now we're going to flip our feeder to the top and we're going to put the top bolts in. So the top bolts have this stiffener on them, so they are the longer carriage bolts and no need for washers on these ones. So go ahead and install all of them on the top. We got all the top bolts in now. Next step is to go and tighten all the top bolts. I'm going to use an impact with a 1/2 inch socket. And before I tighten it, I'm going to move my plastic. I'm going to move the panel and the bracket so that it's running in line, so that it's making a nice straight line with the panel. The bracket and the panel are running nice and in line, parallel. Okay, now I got to do the same to the bottom side. So I got to flip the feeder again and I'll tighten up all the bottom sides, make sure they're nice in line. Make sure the brackets are in line with the panels. Tighten the bottom and then we'll tighten all the vertical bolts. Now with your 2 wrenches, hopefully you have a ratchet wrench. Go ahead and tighten all your vertical bolts, your 2 on each side of each panel. So we got all our bolts tight now. We flipped it back over. We're right side up, and now it's time to install our net. So because this feeder comes with so many different configurations of net, we have to calculate how many net diamonds, we're calling this a diamond, how many diamonds go in between the spaces. So we got to weave our cable through a cable clamp, and then it goes through the diamonds, and then through the cable clamp, through some diamonds, through the cable clamp. So we got to figure out how many diamonds go in between each cable clamp or each space. So to start to figure that out, we're going to count our spaces, what we have here. And on the long side, we're not going to count the corner. We're just going to go from here. So how many spaces between the cable clamps? There's half of one on the end here. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then another half. So total of 8. So when we unroll our net and we count our diamonds on the long side, this net happens to be 55 on the long side, and it's 38 on the short side. So if we're going 55 diamonds on the long side, and we have 8 spaces, you just divide 55 by 8. So that equals 6.875. So that's almost 7, but it's not quite. So we can't weave 6.875 diamonds. It could either be 6 or it could be 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 3 at each end, and then we're going to go 7 at each space. And right here, I'll put 3 on one side, and I'll put 4 on the other, or I'll put 4 on each side. And then I'll go 7, 7, 7, 3. So 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 49. And then with 3 on each side, that makes up our 55. So that will be the long side even, and we won't end up with any extra net on the long side. So let's do that first. So we take our cable and we can start by weaving it through the corner here, down in the middle. You fish it through the hole there. Give yourself a little tail there to work with. And then right at the corner of this net, you'll see it's cut. You got cut diamonds here, and then you got a hem here. So you know that's the corner of your net. So we're gonna weave 3 diamonds, and then we're gonna weave it through our cable clamp. Okay, and then we said 7. So then we're gonna go 7 diamonds. Okay, that's 7. Then we go through the cable clamp again. Then another 7. Okay, now we come to the center joint. So we're gonna go 3 on this side, then we're gonna feed it through, and we're gonna go 4 on this side. Or we might catch 1 in here. So we'll go 3, we'll catch this one in the middle through the brace here, and then we'll go another 3 on this side. So we'll weave. We'll weave 3 and come through the center. We'll catch 1, and then we'll weave another 3. Through the cable clamp. Then 7. Okay, when you get to the corner now, you should end up with 3 at the end here, which we did. Now I'm going to fish the cable through the corner hole. And now we got to figure out how many we weave on the short side. So for figuring out the sides, the short sides, we need to know how many spaces we have, and we need to know how many diamonds are on the net. So for spaces, what we're going to do is we're going to consider this one whole space. This is half a space. This is a full space, full. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 halves is 5. And then this last one is 6. Okay, so we got 6 spaces, and if you count the diamonds in your net on the side that has the nice hem, it will be, this one is 38 diamonds. So we got to go 38 divided by 6 will be 6.33. So basically we're putting 6 diamonds here, and then we weave it through. We could go, maybe we'll do 4 here, because that'll be like 6.33. You can't quite do it evenly, so we're going to end up with a little bit. So let's go 6, then 4 diamonds, 6, 6, 6 diamonds, then 4, and then the remainder in that corner. So we got our whole cable weaved in through our net, weaving every diamond. using the calculations you needed to figure out how many diamonds between each cable bracket. Now it's time to attach the cable with the cable clamp. So I moved my cable so that the joint of the cable would be in the middle of these two, any two really, but give yourself some space to put this cable on. So put your two joints in the middle of two cable clamps. So you just take your Allen key, 4mm or 5/32 Allen key, and you loosen the bracket, and then you slide your cables into it. Okay, and then you can pull it hand tight. Maybe just go and make sure that the cable is tight all the way around the feeder. Then you snug up just snug it up a little bit. I like to use 2 vice grips, one on each cable, to get a good grip and pull the cables as tight as I can. I would say the tighter the cables, the better. So I'm going to give it a good pull and snug it up a little bit more. And now give it a good snug. Take your clamps off. And now I'm just going to get some electrical tape, and I'm going to tape my tails up so that there's nothing to catch on a horse's jaw or anything. And there you go. You're ready to go put it in your pasture and load a bale in it.